Hi, it's Colin McClelland, Editor-in-Chief of the Northern Miner. I'm in London at the International Metals Symposium. I'm with Craig Hallworth, Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer at Gunnison Copper, with a big, exciting new operation in Arizona. Tell me about that. We've got the Johnson Camp mine.
Colin, thank you so much for having me. Yes, everyone's excited about the Johnson Camp mine. It's in southern Arizona. Everyone knows that's the copper state. There's a lot of copper going on there. And that's what our company is, Gunnison Copper. We're 100% copper focused. We're a pure play. And we're the newest copper producer in the United States at our Johnson Camp mine. Now, that Johnson Camp mine, that's a partnership with Rio Tinto, the big mining company, their subdivision, Nuton LLC. And we're going to be demonstrating their new technology for sulphide leaching. And everyone's excited about that because it holds the promise of helping to fill the huge supply deficit for copper in the United States without having to build more smelters. I think that's what everyone's looking for is how can we produce more finished copper in the United States and do it in a way that's extremely clean. It's cheaper from a CapEx and an OpEx point of view, less emissions, less water, less power. So across the board, more sustainable, and I believe it's the Nuton technology, and that's what we're going to be demonstrating at the Johnson Camp mine.
Great, and let's pivot to your larger project nearby, the actual Gunnison deposit, 8 times the size. What's going on there?
That's right. This is our big flagship, and this is the one that I think is going to deliver a lot of value to shareholders in the next couple of years because, like you said, it's got a lot of scale. In the current configuration, our 2024 PEA study, that thing can produce 170 million pounds of copper a year. And if you're looking at sort of a $5 copper price, which is, we're north of that today, that's over $700 million a year in revenue. So just to give you a sense of the scale, it could produce about 8% of the country's current production. So we're talking about a big deposit. It's got a lot of promise. And we're going to be advancing that in the next couple of months. If viewers have been following our story, or maybe they're new to the story, this past year, we've been working on what we call the High Value Add Work Program. These are opportunities that we believe will add a significant amount of value to the Gunnison project. And we'll be incorporating all of those in this new technical report, a new PEA that I expect to be able to publish the headlines in the second half of January 2026. Just as an example, one of those is the inclusion of our Strong and Harris satellite deposit, which will help us to increase the entire life of mine and potentially increase the average mine grade.
Great. If you wanted to give a sort of a 30-second sum up of why investors should be, cognizant of your company, what would it be?
We are a 100% copper pure play. And that's something that's not easy to find. We're trading on the Toronto Exchange, GCU, and we've got a producing mine. This is something we built and delivered within 1 year. It shows we can deliver. And we've got a big project with scale that we're advancing. So you can see the leverage to the copper price that investors can get by investing in us. And we've got a lot of big catalysts coming up. I already spoke about the updated PEA, but we're going to be producing Nuton technology copper imminently. And that's going to be a big deal. If investors take a look at our track record, our stock chart, they're going to see that every time the Johnson Camp does something new, it's leading to a lot of gains in the stock. I think we're going to see the same thing once we can prove the Nuton technology. So I think there's a lot of reasons to invest in the stock, but number one, it's a copper pure play.
That's fantastic, Craig. Craig Hallworth, Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer at Gunnison Copper, joined us today in London at the International Mining Symposium. I'm Colin McClelland, Editor-in-Chief of the Northern Miner.